I guess if you don't have any background on this, I am a local reporter for a TV station in Grand Rapids.
Yeah.
So the story is going to air on a newscast tonight. Just talking about your visit here, your presence here, and then of course looking to mine your expertise to talk about the economy
Okay.
in West Michigan, and then also how national things relate here as well.
Yeah, yeah.
The interest rates, what's going on with the Fed, politically speaking. So I guess sort of a rehash of everything that you just
Yeah.
talked about on stage.
Sure.
And forgive my ignorance if I am slightly incorrect in the terms here.
I got you.
As a reporter, you kind of have to know a little bit about a lot of things.
Yeah,
not
exactly.
a lot about one thing.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm okay on the economy, but not, of course,
Yeah.
your level. So, beginning with something you said at the beginning there, the Chicago Fed, the 7th district, is sort of the canary in a coal mine when it comes to things about the economy. Can you explain about that a little bit?
Yeah, look, the 7th district of the Fed, which covers kind of heart of the Midwest and covers all the mitten of Michigan, is the most manufacturing intensive of all the country. And that tends to be the most cyclical. So when you're going to face it, when the economy is facing recession, it's going to show up first in these cyclical industries. If you're booming, again, it's going to show up first in the cyclical industries. And so that makes the Midwest in particular a little bit the canary in the coal mine for the macro economy.
Talking about West Michigan specifically, you mentioned some things that make it different from the rest of the district or different from the rest of the country. From your perspective, if West Michigan were to get an economic checkup right now, is it leaving with a clean bill of health, or are there some things that maybe need some prescriptions for?
Yeah, well, look, West Michigan's got a lot of strengths. It's the fastest growing part of the state. You got a particular focus on the healthcare economy, and that's been robust for a long time and is a strong expander. It's also got a pretty significant manufacturing presence, and that's going to induce more business cycle. It's going to be more cyclical than a lot of parts of the country, or even than the other parts of the Midwest. And you got an agricultural focus. The last year and a half in the ag economy have been a tough period because you kind of getting squeezed. The sale price and farm income's relatively flat, but the cost of inputs and materials rising. So that's where the squeeze is coming from. I'd say it's still overall pretty solid economy, but the unemployment rate in Michigan is high, and the unemployment rate around Grand Rapids been a bit high, over 5%.
Specifically in Grand Rapids, and I guess some of the surrounding cities too, a lot of manufacturing companies, some of them who have been around for quite a long time, have announced their closures or closed this year. Is that something that is perhaps independent of everything, or could be connected to more national?
Look, it might be independent, but it might be a representation of the canary in the coal mine nature of the manufacturing industry, that it could portend difficulties in the national economy. So that's why people are paying a lot of attention on that front. We did go through a weird period through COVID where we had a deep recession, and it wasn't driven by manufacturing. Actually, demand for durable goods went up during the pandemic while there was a recession. And now that people can go back to spending money on services, which they couldn't in COVID, manufacturing has suffered a bit, even separate from where we are in the business cycle.
Talking about interest rates, because that's a more recent headline, is what the Fed is doing there. Could you sort of rehash what you talked about up on stage with the cut, and your opinion on it, and sort of what are things like shaping up towards in the next few months?
The Fed, when they're setting the interest rate, by law is supposed to be trying to maximize employment and stabilize prices. That's the job. They call it the dual mandate. We're trying to fulfill the dual mandate. And coming into April of this year, before the tariffs began, we were on a pretty good dual mandate path. So we were looking at something like full employment, low unemployment rate, and inflation had been way too high, was coming down and down and looked like it was headed toward the 2% target. In an environment like that, I think you should expect to see rates go down from where they are today or where they were at that time. We had a little bit of dust in the air as we've had this uncertainties of what a tariff's going to do to prices, and is it going to be lasting or is it going to be temporary? I still think if we get the dust out of the air, maybe we're on that golden path, and that's why I was comfortable with voting to start cutting the rates, but I'm a little uneasy front loading too many rate cuts at the beginning when inflation's still too high. And if anything, it's rising. When I'm out here in Grand Rapids talking to business leaders, they are expressing some unease that they don't want to go back to that environment that we had in 21 and 22 where inflation's out of control.
Could you reiterate again your opinion that the central bank needs to be independent of whatever political moment, whatever politicians are wanting in a certain environment?
Yeah, look, economists are basically unanimous that it's critically important that the central bank in any rich country, they think the same thing, that the central bank be independent of political interference when setting the interest rate. And that's rooted not in theory, it's just rooted in the experience of countries. If you look at places where they don't have Fed independence, inflation is rising and high, and economic growth is worse. So I think it's really important that we maintain that, and everybody basically recognizes that.
Forgive me if this is being a bit redundant here, but you mentioned near the end of the discussion here that new hires, people entering the workforce, are having a tougher time, and perhaps a lot of that, at least in the computer science and some of the coding areas, could be related to AI. In West Michigan particularly, is that something you see replicated as well, or are you not so certain of it?
I think you've seen, if not totally unprecedented, at least unusual environment that hiring is slow. If you look at the hiring rate, it's not high, but it's not because there are a lot of layoffs. It's just a low hiring, low firing kind of environment, and the unemployment rate is low and not rising very fast. So that's been stable, but it's putting the squeeze on the new entrance to the labor force. So if you talk to anybody who's got college age kids, it's not easy to get a job in this environment. What we don't know is that an indicator that the business cycle is turning and that's the beginning of recession, or is this just a feature of an AI kind of an environment where entry-level talent is getting replaced with a new technology? That's where we're chewing along, and parents and economists are trying to figure that out.
Yeah, my brother graduated from college a year ago with a mechanical engineering degree, and it took him 6 months.
No, and you would have thought mechanical engineering, he'll have his choice of a job, but lately it has been the most technical fields, computer science, engineering, where the unemployment rate of new graduates has, in a way, been the highest. So it's been an adjustment.
Yeah, sure. One last thing, if someone were, a layman were to stop you on the side of the sidewalk and for some reason knew, who you were and your expertise, and they would ask you three things.
Yeah.
What should I celebrate about the economy right now? What should I worry about? And what should I be watching? What are those three things?
What to worry about and what to be watching is maybe the same thing. In the world of central banks and the Fed, I think it's inflation. It's taken us a long time to get inflation down, and it's still got more to go, and now it's going the wrong way. So we should be worried if the inflation proves persistent coming from tariffs or other things. The things to celebrate about the economy, it's still a strong job market. The wage growth has been robust, the unemployment rate is low, and our productivity has been remarkably strong, stronger than it was even before COVID. that might be coming part from AI. It might be coming from hybrid work arrangements, and we've kind of rebalanced the economy. But compared with other countries, the U.S. remains a fairly strong situation, and our growth rate hopefully will continue to be relatively high.
Anything else you'd like to add, Ash?
No, you've covered a lot.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you. I
Sam,
appreciate your time.
my pleasure.
Are you heading back pretty much right after this, or are you going to stick around in Grand Rapids a little longer?
We have a little bit.